Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gwendolyn Ray, and thank you for joining me today. Hi, am I on time? Oh no, I'm a little late, but I did my best to be on time. So before I get started, I'm gonna just wait for some people to come in, and I'm gonna fill up my water bottle and like get my tea together because my throat, my voice started cracking a little bit, and I don't like it. I don't like the way it feels. I'm also going to check my audio because this is something I need to do every single time I go live because I've had some hiccups in the past and I just don't want that to happen again, you know? So let's start. Let me check. I'm going to go on YouTube now and see what it sounds like. And I just want to make sure my audio is good again. I'm like, you like my hair? Thank you. I'm back to my natural self again. I'm so happy I did my own hair this time because normally when I get it done from like the Dominicans or some sort of shop, they always put too much heat to my hair and I have heat damage. So doing it myself, you know, came back to life. Okay, so it sounds good. I'm gonna get out of here. And where are we? So I'm gonna put the link in the chat because I really love this. I really love this article. It really stuck out to me out of all of them that I went through and kind of skimmed through because I can really relate to this one, and I feel like a lot of us women can too, especially if you follow my channel. You have to have some sort of similar vibe to me, so I'm gonna put it in there now. And let me stop listening to myself because it's an echo. Where is the chat? Let's go. Come on, we can do it. I'll put it in there now. Peace. Yes, and it's not too long because normally the links, they are so long that sometimes they won't even go in the chat. So this one is short, so I'm gonna pin it. And if you want to look at it while I read over it, you can. It's up to you. Or you can just listen. So I just pinned it, but I don't know why it's not pinned to the top. Let me see. Okay, well, I guess it's up there. I don't know. And you said my audio is good. Thank you. Thank you for checking for me. Okay, so yeah, let me fill this water bottle up because I can feel my voice going already. I haven't had my tea yet. I went and I heated up some water so I can have some tea because I don't know why my voice is going. I really don't. This is not normal for me. I've been drinking water all day, so I don't know why it's happening. I hope I'm not getting sick and cross my fingers that I'm not. No, I will not get sick. Okay? That is not acceptable. I don't have time to be sick. You said it's in the chat. Thank you. All right, cool. At least it's there so people can look at it. How was your weekend? Did you do anything for MLK Day? Also, if you haven't already, please go and check out this mug. This is currently my favorite mug. Oh, it's hot. This is currently my favorite mug. It's the All I Need is Mascara and Coffee mug. And I'm gonna let you see it up close. It might be backwards because I film in like a selfie mode. But if you want, you can look at the link in the chat and you'll be able to look at it there up close. But this has been my favorite mug. It's really girly and it's just me. Okay, that's good. But the tea I'm drinking is the Bigelow Benefits. It's the Stay Well tea. I shared this with you in like a couple videos back, but this is one of my favorite teas. I wouldn't say it's the reason why I stay healthy, but I'm sure it contributes in some sort of way because the flower, I cannot pronounce this flower. It's the Essentia flower. Is really beneficial for your health. So go and check that tea out. So I'm gonna put on my glasses because I know I'm probably squinting because I could barely see. This is so horrible. I think it has something to do with like all the lights I have around me, but I'm not sure. So I'm gonna get started with these. And I got these little new essence from Dollar Tree. How do they look? And you said how much coffee does it hold? It's a 12 or 11 ounce mug. Don't get me to line. I think it's 11 ounces though. But if you look in the chat, there's two. If you look on the link for the mug, it's two different mugs. It's 11 ounces and there's also a 15 ounce mug. So if you need something bigger, you can go with that one. So I got a little tea. I got a little water. I think I'm going to get started now. I was with the grandbabies. Oh, that's good. When you come in, please hit the like button if you can. And I'm going to get started. So I'm going to see if I can pull up, because I really like to pull up the article, and I like screenshotted a small portion of it. So bear with me. Bear with me while I pull this up. Let me see if I can do it. Is this it? All right, so yeah, here is the title. I'm gonna add that. And then I'm gonna add this other one. Okay. So here is the title of, oh no, I'm zooming into myself. So here's the title of the article. Like I said, if you want, you please go and look at it from the link in the chat. So I'm going to pull it up here too. Also, what did you do for Martin Luther King Day? Because to me, that's a really important day. And not even just to me. I'm sure it's a really important day for everyone. And it's because Martin Luther King, he did a lot of work for, you know, for us, for our people, for us to be able to have the freedoms that we have now. He's one of the reasons why I'm able to even be sitting here on the internet with my own channel. So I really hope that you were able to, you know, kind of like bring awareness to him, especially to the little ones, because I'm sure they hear about it every year from school, but there's an emphasis I feel like we have to put on that, because without him and a lot of other people that paved the way for us, we wouldn't even have a lot of the privileges that we have now. So I was able to show some videos and documentaries to my children, and they were just like, wow, that's crazy, Mom. Like, he really was important. I'm like, yes, he really was. Even though he's not here anymore, this is one of the reasons why we celebrate his birthday still. So I'll move this down. Let's see. Okay, so I thought I had it up. Okay, I do. So this kind of came from a segment I guess she had on her my voice is going already. Excuse me. So this came from a segment she had on her website, and the segment is called 31 Days of Femininity. And the name of this article is Being Feminine Towards Your Children. So I have been like diving into femininity a lot more within the past, I would say 4 years or so. And the reason why is because I noticed that a lot of things just were not going the way I thought that they would. And I learned that it was because of my actions. It was the way that I was carrying myself. I had ended up changing a lot. And it was due to, you know, outside influences, friends that I was hanging with. And I noticed like there's something that has to change. I know it has to start with me, but like, where do I go? I also wanted to be a better mother towards my children. And a lot of people would, you know, state that I was a good mom, but I knew that there was something I was missing, and I know that I could have been better. And I learned that it was femininity. Like, I didn't have as much grace as I do now with my children. I didn't have nowhere near as much patience as I do now with my children. And I definitely know that it's due to me becoming more feminine. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to share this article, because a lot of the things that she names here are things that I started doing myself and things that I pay attention to, because a lot of times we might overlook these things, but they're really important, especially for our children. And for me, I have all boys. So I am the first woman that they see, I'm their example of what a woman is. And I want to be able to live up to that standard. I'm not going to be perfect, but I want my children to look at me and be like, you know what, that's what a good woman is. That's what a mother is. And I want that in my wife later on in life. And if you have daughters, you want to be that example for them so they can look up to you and be like, I want to be like her when I grow up. And children are extremely honest. And if you actually sit down and ask them, like, what do you think of me as a mom? Like, how have I been for you? And if they're comfortable speaking to you, they will let you know what they really think about you. And I am able to talk to my children. Even if I don't ask them any questions, they are very vocal and they'll let me know how they feel about me. So before I go into this, I want to tell you this little story. So earlier today, I spoke to my husband before I took him to work. And I let him know about this interaction that I keep having with my son. So like when I come on YouTube, like, I look really nice. I'm presentable. I'm ready. But I have my days where I'm in sweatpants and my hair is pulled in a ponytail and I'm just not having the best of days. But I notice that on days where I am, like, I put forth the most effort and I'm like, today is going to be a good day. I have a positive attitude. I have a lot of patience with my children this day. I noticed that my middle son, Ezekiel, he goes out his way and he'll open my door for me, my car door, not just a door, my car door. And I'm just like, I've never asked him to do that before. And I know it's because it's his natural masculine instinct to be like, this is a lady. I feel like I need to help her. And I think that's something that he is going to carry with him throughout his life, especially as a man, when he gets married or when he becomes a man and he's around other women. And I also noticed that, I'm going to pause this. I also noticed that he does it when I am more graceful. And I'm like, wow, like he can tell the difference between like when I'm having a bad day or when I'm like being my best self. And it's like, I guess it's his way of like rewarding me, And I know that's like a weird interaction, but if you ever had some sort of interaction with your child like this, like leave it in the comment section. And it's just something that I noticed about him. And I brought it up to my husband and he's like, oh, okay, well, good job. Maybe that's encouraging you more to be, this person that I'm looking at right now. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I think that plays a lot into me learning how to be more feminine. I always grew up being, more like submissive and, not chatty or, not, what's the word for it? Not being rude. I was always kind and things like that. I was really quiet growing up. And those things kind of help carry with me throughout my life. But like I said, I did felt like I was beginning to lose them. Like around after I had my first son, I feel like I started to lose that and I didn't want to lose it. So I'm like, I had to go find that again, find out who I am, and this is the person that you see today. Like, so I'm going to start the article before I keep talking. Okay, so the article is called 31 Days of Femininity, Being Feminine Towards Your Children. It says, do you consider yourself feminine towards your children? It's a question that you should ask. This isn't something I stop and think about very often. I strive to be feminine towards my husband and towards other people, but my children? I consider the reasons why I would want to show femininity towards my children. And here are a few I came up with. Number one, to model being a woman. Of course, that seems obvious, right? But I mean, a true lady. I want to give my boys a clear vision of what a woman content to be, what? Of what a woman content to be or content to be a female looks like, and model that as an example for my daughters. Number two is to teach my boys what they are, to be caring, considerate, and helpful towards women in general. If I walk around with a rough and tough attitude all the time, how they will... Okay, let me slow down. To teach my boys that they are to be caring, considerate, and helpful towards women in general. If I walk around with a rough and tough attitude all the time, how... I think this is definitely a mess up. Okay. How will they ever learn that women are different than men, or that they wonder, or that they actually need, and in their better moments appreciate their help? Many women today are fond of boasting about their independence from men and how unnecessary a man's help is to them. I'll open the door for myself. Thank you. That's like one of the things she put in quotes. Like, that's something that an independent woman would say, or a woman that just says, I don't need your help. That's what she will say. I'll open the door for myself. Thank you. Well, in my house, I let my boys open the door for me, not because I am incapable, but because it helps to instill nobility in my sons. It serves as yet another reminder that they should provide for, protect, and prefer women before themselves, and even the little things. So I like that she said that, because growing up, we were, at least I from what I've seen, because obviously I'm not a male, but from what I've seen, men were taught to they were taught chivalry. At least all the men in my generation, they were taught that. Open the door for the lady. Oh, ladies go first. Oh, let the little girl get it first. Girls go first. That normally was like the main thing you would hear, is ladies should go first, right? And I have more comments. And on top of that, I actually felt that growing up as a woman, but now we're like in this generation where they believe that it's not even, I can't even say that it's men's fault. I would say it's more so the doing of women, of wanting to basically be like a man, like we're equal to men. And like I said in my previous videos, we have a lot of privileges. A lot of things that we have now, we definitely didn't have years ago. So being equal to a man is something we shouldn't even be bringing up. It's very awkward. We aren't the same. And because we aren't the same, we need to be treated differently. And that's what I truly believe. So I still instill that into my boys, chivalry, like opening the door, if there's a lady here, let her go first. There is some things that just needs to be taught to our children, because a lot of the world now is just really uncivilized. I think that us trying to be the big and bad people, it just doesn't make any sense, because we're literally not as strong as men. It's just very obvious, and when we try to be, we confuse children, and then they don't know, oh, the lady is supposed to go first. They don't know that. They think, oh, well, she be all right. She must got it. And you don't want them to be that way. At least boys, you don't want them to be that way. And then even for little girls, you want them to be treated well, especially by men. You want them to be treated well. You want them to know that when they are in a relationship with a man, that he is supposed to be able to, care for them, and not, look at them like, oh, she got it. For instance, when he uses that as an example of taking out the trash or something like that. Not saying that women cannot do it, but men are stronger. So what's wrong with them doing it? They are supposed to do it. It would definitely be weird to see a woman taking out the trash and the guy just sitting down watching her do it. And the reason why it's weird is because that's unnatural. It's just not normal. So we just shouldn't confuse our children. This is something that we need to be teaching them. So number 3 is to train, she says, to train my daughters that it's not a sign of weakness to be feminine. This is important too, because now I'm just saying this from my thoughts. I think this is important because the world we live in, there's a lot of things going on, and I'm pretty sure you see it as well, where being, I don't want to use, submission is like a whole nother word, but like just being ladylike makes you look weak. I actually kind of seen a little bit of this growing up when people would say stuff like, oh, you're too nice. Oh, you shouldn't. No, you need to voice your opinion. If such and such is doing this, you need to tell them about themselves. And it's just like, but I don't need to do that. I really don't need to do that. I really do believe that people that are super vocal about everything and really loud and boisterous, like that's a masculine trait, and that's something I never really wanted to embody, because it just didn't feel ladylike, and it doesn't feel ladylike. But she says that it's not a sign of weakness to be feminine. So like for me, when they would say like, you're too nice, you let people just like you're just a pushover, basically. It's like, I'm not a pushover. I'm just feminine. I don't feel like I need to explain those things to anybody. If I'm somewhere where I'm not wanted, I'm just going to go somewhere else and be happy in that area instead. So this is something that a lot of people do need to teach their daughters, because it makes me really sad to see little girls like trying to be little boys, and they don't even know that the way that they're acting is a way that a boy would act, for instance. Like they don't even know, because they don't have the right training. And a lot of mothers aren't feminine. I see that a lot, especially where I live. They'll like cuss their children out in the store and drag them down the aisles and screaming all the way across the store. And it's like, what is going on? Why do you have to be that way? There is a different way to be able to speak to our children, daughters or sons, And I think when women learn more about how being feminine really is your power, that like things for them would change. Because things for me did change. But yeah, so it's not a sign of weakness, if you didn't know that. That they don't have to fall for the world's examples of what a lady looks like. That's what I was speaking about. Femininity always seems to summon the word weakness in most women's minds, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can be feminine and yet not fall apart emotionally at the first hint of trouble that comes across your path. And that is really true. She says, in our family, we do set some clear, defined paths. Certain things are girly in our house, such as dolls, but the boys are still welcome to play with their sisters if they want, and they do. It's funny that she brought this up, because I was talking to my husband, and he was saying that, okay, so if you didn't know, he was raised with all women in the house. So he has lots of sisters, not lots, but he has a few sisters, and he wasn't raised with he doesn't have any brothers. So obviously, if he wants to play with his siblings, he's going to be playing with girls. So he would tell me like stories about how he would be playing with dolls with his little sisters, and I just thought it was just so cute. It's not him being feminine, but it's his way of being able to still interact with them. And, it doesn't make him a woman to do so. I used to hear like boys shouldn't play with dolls growing up. That's what I used to hear on my end. So when I heard it from him, it was like, oh, that's interesting. Like how he has turned out now. It's like, oh, guys, like boys playing with dolls with other little girls is not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with it, but I had to have him to like teach me that. But all right, so I'm gonna keep going. Other things are clearly boy toys, such as toy guns. Yes, I don't think little girls should play with toy guns. To me, it does bring out a like a roughness, because when you have a gun, you just have to be aggressive, but their younger sister can be found with a toy gun in her hand after her brothers during a pioneer adventure. Okay, so yeah, it's like more of like the role play, depending on like what they're doing, if they should have that item or not. Like for instance, like if my sons did have some sort of doll in the house, right? And I think they have like some little Barbie thing from McDonald's or something like that. If they had it, they wouldn't be like caring for it like a girl would. Like they wouldn't be like, "Come on, girlfriend, let's go to the store." They wouldn't do that. They would just use her as a woman in the Lego world. That's it. She's just going to be the girl, maybe the damsel in distress, you know? And that's why I think like what she said, like, there are some clear defined paths. Basically, like when children play, this is them mimicking how they're going to be as adults or practicing being adults. So for them to just have the lady in the world and like she needs to be saved, you know, like Spider-Man used to save Mary Jane all the time. Like it's basically that sort of thing. That's how they play with the dolls. And then for the little girl to be like she said she can be found with a toy gun in her hand after her brothers during a pioneer adventure. So like there is a time and a place for everything. For a little girl to have a gun, well, a toy gun, I'm sorry, be clear, a toy gun, like for her to be a pioneer in an adventure, you know, that makes sense. Like maybe she's playing Lara Croft or something like that. It makes sense. But like there are certain things where little girls just probably shouldn't be doing young, you know? And the reason why is because you want them to have a clear path. Like children, they need to have some sort of direction. You do want their imagination to be able to kind of like help them be entertained and to learn things as well too, and to be curious. But at the same time, you do want to make sure that they know what their roles are and who they are going to be in the future. And that starts when they're young. So it says more often than not, though, she is found with a doll or a stroller following them. So she has the toy gun and a doll stroller. Did I read that wrong? It says more often than not. Okay, so most times she has her stroller and her doll, which makes sense. That would be me. When I was younger, I always had a little doll and a stroller. It's something about like as a little girl pushing the baby around. Now, don't get me wrong, we're pretty reckless with the babies. I know I was reckless. I was reckless with my dolls. Oh my goodness, now I think about it. I'm so glad I didn't take that into my motherhood because, oh my goodness, my babies would have been dead. I'm pushing them around like that. But anyway, she says, I am quick to tell my sons that I can't lift a certain heavy item. I want to keep reading, but I'm going to talk about that too. So this is funny because, all right, my boys know that I go to the gym and I don't share much with them. I think the only person that has seen me at the gym officially was my oldest son, and he's 15. So when I'm at the gym, I tend to lift heavy, and that's because like I want to build curves in my body because I'm trying to lose weight, for instance. And when you are trying to lose weight, you can become really lean and flat. And I personally don't have lots of curves, so I try to build them in the gym. Make a long story short, because I lift heavy, sometimes my children think that I can lift anything. And they fail to believe, at least I try to explain to them, that like the gym is different. That's only for like 30 minutes. And then during the rest of the day, I probably don't have that energy. Like that's gone. I just don't have it to do all the time. So one of the things that I have my sons do, and it's mainly my oldest son, my 15-year-old, is that I have him, we have a laundry area in the basement. So I'll have him bring up the heavy laundry baskets. Now, don't get me wrong, I can carry it, but it's almost dangerous for me to be picking up that heavy laundry basket and taking it all the way up the stairs because our basement stairs are really narrow. So for me, it feels dangerous. I actually almost tripped before trying to do it. Now for him, he is a lot stronger than me. Okay. My son at this point is even heavier than me. So he has more muscle on his body. He's built to carry those. Sometimes he'll carry 2 heavy laundry baskets at the same time. And that's really what I mean when I say women and men really are not built alike. If I were to try to do that on my own, I would be back down those steps where I came from. So my son carrying those, like, that's really important. I really need him to do that. And I express to him that I need him. I want him to know that he is needed. Okay. And when you see a woman in need, if she's struggling, please help her. When I'm struggling, he literally comes to the rescue, unless he's staring at his phone. You know, those phones keep them distracted. But for my little ones, they will come to help me if I have on heels or something like that. But outside of that, I guess they don't have the full grasp of concept that I do need help, because they see me exercise, they see me work out, and they just assume that like I'm just super strong. So, but this is something that you definitely should be having them do. Ask them for help often, especially boys. She says, I'm waiting for, this is what she says to the kids. I'm waiting for Papa to get home so he can help me. Okay, true. That's something I do say to my boys too. Like, when your dad gets home, I'll ask him to do such and such. And that's because I can't do it. And I'm not even going to try to do it because I might pull something. Okay. It says, now that my oldest son is getting stronger. Oh, he might have the same, like around the same age child. Now that my oldest son is getting older, he has started helping me move heavy items, etc., and is a huge help. That is so true. You definitely want to make sure you're asking for help from your children, especially your boys. Oh my goodness. You want them to know that they have muscles for a reason. Okay, those muscles are not just there just to be there. We need those. So I tell my son sometimes, like, I be like, come on guys, I need your help. I need your muscles. Come on, I need all your muscles, all of y'all. I need all the, let's go. I need you to help me. And that also gives them confidence. Like, even my youngest son, even though he's not super strong, he feels so I can tell he feels really like confident and empowered when he knows like, oh, mommy needs my help. Because she needs my help, oh, I can do it. And he'll struggle through it, but he'll be like, I got it. Be holding on all tight. But he definitely does try. And I really do think that's another way that we can help them, be more masculine. Us being feminine is what helps them to be masculine. This is for boys, of course, too. And with little girls, just you being that feminine example to them, they will look up to you. They definitely will look up to you. Where was I at? I know it makes him feel good to know that he is strong enough to help his mama. These are a few ways I try to pass on femininity towards my children. What are some practical ways you try to display to your children the differences between masculinity and femininity? I'd love to hear. So this was a really beautiful article. I kind of like stumbled through it because these glasses, I'm just gonna let you know that now, these glasses are not strong enough for me. I probably should have wore a different pair. So I couldn't even really see the words that well. So I hope you were able to kind of get the gist of where I was going with the article. But if you want to go read it on your own and read it, more thoroughly, I did leave it in the chat and I pinned it to the top so you can go look at it there. So the next couple things I wanted to look over are kind of interesting. I was able to get a screen record 2 videos that I wanted to look at with you. And I wanted you to give me like your opinion on it. So if you want, you can leave it in the comment section to leave your opinion, or in the chat if you're watching now. But I want to go over them because they were kind of alarming to me. And lately I've been getting like, I don't know if I want to say triggered by things I see online. So I just don't even hang out online that much anymore. I'll come and I go live. I'll kind of look through my feed a little bit, respond to comments and post, but I try not to spend too much of my time on like TikTok and Instagram for reels and stuff like that, because a lot of stuff is like, it goes against what I believe in. And I feel like everyone needs to have some sort of moral code. We all need to have something that we follow, and that is what's going to keep us grounded. So when other people come around and try to convince us to do whatever the other thing is, we know that we have our firm standards. Like, this is what we are, and we're not bending towards it. So I'm going to pull this up and see if I can if I can listen with you. Let me see. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen so you can see it. And I'm gonna play this at the same time. And my video is a little behind, but it's fine. So I've been able to like pull up stuff on here and I love it. Okay. So I'm gonna take my glasses off. Ooh, I'm a little sweaty. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this one because I was just like, oh my goodness. All right, here we go. Let me see if I can pull it. Okay, so it's gonna play a few times because I just like looped it basically. And I also blocked out something that it said because it had some profanity in it. And I don't really want to show any, I don't want you to hear any sort of cursing on this channel. That's not really what I'm about. So I'm going to play it now. Okay. Is it playing? Come here. Okay, so it says when your husband plays video games all day, like he doesn't have 3 kids. Come here. Yeah, come. And I was just like, did she just smack him in the face with a pillow? It like bothered me so much. Come here. Yeah. And I'm like, I get that he has children, but like, isn't there a more respectful way to talk to him and be like, can you help me out, babe? I'm just like, this is like so bold to me. Come here. I cannot imagine walking up to my husband and he's playing games or whatever he's doing and just walk up to him and just slap him in the face with a pillow. He might knock me down. At least I don't know if he would or not, but like I wouldn't even try to do anything like that. I think I would just be scared, you know? So come here. This kind of blew me away because number one, like I noticed that she's carrying her children. She has 2 kids on her right now. And come here. I'm like, why would she bring her children over to kind of like tell him to come help? Come here. I'm like, this is so weird. Like, this is not a good way to show motherhood. And that's one of the reasons why I want to show you this, because I'm like, her doing this in front of her children literally shows that she has no respect for their father. And when your children notice that you don't have any respect for the man that they call dad, they are going to treat him accordingly. And I think this is one of the ways that we have to stop. Like, this is not okay. This is definitely not okay. Like I said, when your children see that, they're just like, oh, well, if mom said go do this, I'm gonna just go listen to her. They're not even gonna go to dad and ask him for anything. Even though most of the time children ask us for stuff anyway. And I think it's just because they think we're going to say yes. But outside of that, they won't respect him. They are not going to respect him for that. On top of that, like, the children are going to be laughing at their dad. And that's not funny. That's nothing to play with, because the father is supposed to be the one that the children are like, oh no, I'm listening to dad. Like, mom, you know, I listen to her too, but I know she's a little more lenient. But dad, when dad say something, oh no, I gotta listen. It's like, you're not even going to be able to pull the card of when your father gets home. Like, you can't even do that if you're smacking him in the face with pillows. It's just not even going to work. I was just blown away when I saw that. Like, oh my God, does she not care at all? And then at the end of the day, you're also, if you were to do something like this, you're also hindering yourself, because with a 2-parent household, both parents are supposed to be able to not contribute. What are the words I'm looking for? Are supposed to have some sort of stance in the in the family structure. So mom is supposed to be the one that, gives love and kisses and hugs. And, mom is going to tell you the truth, but she's also going to be, she's going to show you empathy, but dad is supposed to be the one that's like, no, I told you to do this and this is what it is. And he's the one that, like, when he comes home from work, everybody's just on point. Everybody's going to listen. Everybody's listening to dad. But if dad is getting smacked in the face with pillows, he's getting abused. It's not going to work. I don't know. I'm going to show you the next video. Let me know what you think about that video. So I'm going to show you this other one. Let me put my headset on so I can hear it too. Because this one, I actually liked her, and it's a TikTok video, but I like the way that she, brought up the situation. Let me just show it. I'm just going to show it. So, where is it? Look at me bringing up videos. I'm so proud of myself. And I screen recorded this for you, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I hate this lady Nels in this video. I do not agree with that. But I do like the way she's basically handling the situation, okay? So I'm going to play it. Okay, but before I play it, I'm gonna read it to you. So it says, when your child is getting on your last nerves and I don't know what she mean by upper, but getting on your last nerves and you're trying not to react like your mom so you don't give them trauma. So basically, I'm going to do my explanation of what I kind of thought of this before I even really listened to it. I thought that, like, when she meant trauma, I thought about how growing up we would get what you call a whooping. Okay, you know what a whooping is. Everybody knows what some sort of whooping, or maybe you might call it a spanking. Okay, but we used to get whoopings. So if your child said anything that was I would say out of pocket, okay, this is my slang kicking in, out of pocket, if they said anything that was disrespectful, the first thing you do is slap them. You slap them in the face. I can't even do that, okay? But that's what you would do, okay? Outside of that, if it was more severe, you would whoop them. That's just what you would do. There's no going to go take a breather. There's no there's no walking away and taking a walk. There's no going to the gym to, blow off some steam. There's none of that. This child is getting a whooping. That's that. They know not to never do that again. Now, I think the way that it was handled before, now that's not the way we handle things, but the way that it was handled before in previous years, like, they didn't even let us explain anything. They didn't even let us talk. Okay, I think a lot of reason why I was quiet is because I was getting popped. Okay, I'm gonna just use that word. I was getting popped. Okay, and even when I thought, like, I didn't even do anything wrong, or like she didn't even hear me out, this is how it would be. This is what would happen to me. So make a long story short, now that we know a lot more now, we know actually our children are a lot smarter than what we think. And especially because me and my husband, we discuss a lot. Whereas though we're like, when we were kids and a lot of stuff happened to us, we felt like some things maybe we probably needed that for. But most of it was just like, if they could have just talked to me, if you could have just talked to me, you would have actually heard my point of view. And maybe we could have came to some sort of not agreement, because the parent is always supposed to be the head or whatever, but at the same time, this is how you build trust with your child, being able to listen to them and understand their point of view. So I really like what she did in this video. Instead of going to go pull out the belt, instead of that popping, she actually sat and she did this. So let me pull this up, and it's so short and simple, but it matters. So I already read it to you so you can see it. And like I said, I got this video. I screenshotted this video from TikTok, so it's a public video. So let me play it.
I suppose. No more question because I'm a little mad and I'm tired. Thank you.
And it says when your child is getting on your last nerves and you're trying not to react like your mom, so you don't give them trauma.
No more question because I'm a little mad and I'm tired. Thank you. I suppose. No more question because I'm a little mad and I'm tired. Thank you. I suppose. No more question because I'm a little mad and I'm tired. Thank you. I suppose. No more question because I'm.
It. So what I liked about what she did is that, number one, first of all, she's drinking a green juice, okay? She took the time out to be able to, blow some steam off. Like, we don't always have to be so reactive. And I think that's another thing that I've learned through femininity is that you don't have to react immediately to things. I think when, like, for instance, like, I was raised by my aunt. So when she would just come out and just hit me without actually sitting and listening to me, that didn't teach me a way of femininity. And I grew up learning like, oh, she just mean, or she just this. I didn't really get as much understanding from her as I needed as a child. I needed a lot more understanding from her. And I think that's a lot of reasons. That's a big reason why I did a lot of the things that I did, is because I felt like I wasn't heard, and it's really good to be able to express that to your child, that in this moment, I'm upset. Right now, I'm angry and I don't really want to talk right now. So do you mind walking away so I can, I don't want to talk right now, and just being expressive and letting them know how you're feeling is another way we can be feminine towards our children. They need to see that we have emotions. They need to know that about us, and not that we're always just so uptight all the time and nothing ever bothers us. And, no, you just want to get this just because, we have to be able to communicate that with our children. And communication is one of the biggest ways to be able to just improve just being a parent in general. And that's whether you're a father or a mother or any sort of caregiver. You want to be able to have that communication with them where you're not just so snappy all the time. You want to be able to talk to them. And I think that's one of the reasons why I can say, like, I have really good kids. I have good kids. I don't smack them every time they say something, or at all. I don't have to do that. I'll give them a look. I'll talk to them. I'll take something away. There are other things that we have in place where we don't have to just do like this. And because I'm with the children all day. I'm with my little ones all day long, besides when I go to the gym or maybe I go to the grocery store or something. So if I'm smacking them all day long or spanking them I'm going to be worn out. I don't want to be worn out. I'm too beautiful. Okay. That's extra, but you kind of get where I'm going. Like, there is no need for us to take it that far with our children, because they understand a lot more than what you think. So, like, the moral of this video is to really just be able to open up to your child. Obviously, you can't tell them every single thing all the time, but show them empathy. Show them understanding, communicate with them, hear them out, hear their point of view, because they might have something really important to say. And if you go out your way to just be so reactive and be upset immediately, you might miss out on something that was really important. And they're not always going to be young forever. So this is a time you need to be cherishing these moments with them, because when they're older, you're going to wish, maybe I should have did things a little bit differently. And nobody wants to live with regret. So thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, go and check out my mug, even though I didn't really drink like any of my tea. Go and check out this mug. The link is in the description section. And go check out that article if you want to go and read it for yourself and share it with someone you think may need to hear this information. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. And if you don't know what to do, just be naturally you. Bye.